What does art mean to me? How does it make my life better? How do I use it and why do I use it? Now, art is an outlet, of course. It is a channel through which we can focus our ability to express ourselves, our inner sorrows, our inner pain, our inner joy, our inner happiness, our inner contentment. We focus it through the channel of art and create that which is viewed by ourselves and others. And each composition becomes a personality in and of itself, a being, an existence in and of itself, through our channeling of whatever we want to express into that piece of art. Now, I forgot how much I loved art, how much I loved to draw, and going back to a gallery that I just recently hooked up with, and I have a lot of work there now. But going there, meeting a lot of artists, and truly basking in what it is to kind of create in an artistic fashion. It really brought life back to my creative side. Now, art in and of itself is nothing. By itself, art is bland. It's a structure without life. But when somebody channels who they are, what they feel, what they want to communicate to everyone else into a work of art, when they put themselves into it, that's when it becomes great. Art in and of itself is worthless, but art that is charged with a person's passion or a person's dispassion or a person's relationship to the reality in any way, channeled into the art, is what brings it to life. And sometimes it brings it to a lack of life, depending on where in the magnitude you're trying to place that piece to communicate a certain point. And there's a lot of people out there who, try to paint, draw, or otherwise create art that is just a reflection of other people's art, just a reflection of what they see in nature, the exact copy of nature. That art is something that I do value, but the art that interests me, what I'm interested in most, is an expression of somebody's being, somebody's emotions, somebody's strengths or weaknesses, somebody's insecurities. A message emotionally communicated that the subconscious couldn't quite get out into words, but got out in the form of art. That's the kind of art that interests me most. And I'm not the greatest artist, but when I do create art, it is a liberating feeling. It feels like I cast a spell. It feels like I just did a spiritual ritual. It feels like something within me was relieved. Something within me gained license in that moment to exist forever by capturing itself in that moment. This may seem pretentious, and I can be pretentious at times, but I'm trying to basically tell you that I would highly recommend you expressing yourself in an artistic way. It can release something in you that you didn't think could gain license in reality, that you didn't think could be communicated into reality and basically understood by other people. Everybody starts somewhere. You don't have to be great when you start. You could be terrible. I mean, you can do stick figures, and then you slowly work on adding to those stick figures different muscles, different bones, and then you expand and expand. And the human body is the hardest to draw, but for everybody it's a little different. And just expand from whatever you are. What do you want to communicate? Start with something very simple, a communication of that message nonetheless, but still simple, and then expand on your skill. It grow off of that emotion you're trying to communicate, that idea, and whether it's one in that piece or another piece, just kind of expand your ability to communicate through art, because it is a still life image of that which you're trying to communicate. Something that can be understood by somebody viewing it without them having to read anything, without them having to look at it for more than a second. All of your message that you want to send out to the world can be communicated in a single second of viewing a piece of art. And the value behind human consciousness, the long journey it took us to get here, and the sheer individuality of every single person and what they can communicate, what they can imagine completely unique to every single person, deserves to be communicated. And it's very easy to communicate anything, any uniqueness, any idea, any personal passion that we have through a work of art, because it can be communicated instantaneously. And so that's why I would highly recommend that you express yourself through art. You know, if you're not good at art, that's understandable. There's plenty of ways to express yourself. Writing, you can express yourself through videos. You can express yourself through a combination of either poems, of studies, of even theses, even philosophical architecture. I mean, there's a number of ways you can communicate what it means to be human, the emotions that we have, or the deadening of those emotions when they're deadened. And both those extremes can be equally valuable, and everything in between is sheer gold. It's gold from the bottom up, what it is to be human. So communicate that in whatever way you can, but art, I feel, is that instantaneous communication that is so valuable for people who, well, society in general who has short attention spans, but also people who have trouble expressing it through words. Put yourself on that page, put yourself on that paper, put yourself on that canvas, put yourself on the concrete, whatever form you want to practice art through. Consider it as a spiritual practice where you're bringing the essence of your being out into the world. And that's my recommendation, and that's kind of my view on art at this time. You know, it might change. A lot of my views do change over time because I grow, but you know, we all grow. But you know, take it for what it's worth. I'm not a great artist. I'm not someone who has gone through art school. I've gone through a little bit of you know, college education in art, but and I'm not somebody who really critiques or judges people based on the kind of art that they have. Me personally, I love seeing when somebody's emotions, somebody's passions are just spilled out in front of you. You can see it in a second, and then it makes you think over and over and over again without them putting words in your mouth, without them putting words into your mind. You can have a relationship with their work of art, an entirely different communication than they intended, but you're still responding mentally to what they put before you. So that's all I really wanted to say today. This has been a little bit of a rant, a little bit of exhortation on art, and you know, why I like to create art, why it interests me. And hey, if you have any questions, feel free to shoot them down in the comment section below. I recently hooked up with, like I said, the Bedford, well, I said the gallery, I didn't say which gallery, a Bedford gallery, Bedford, Texas. And it's a remarkable gallery. Let me just make sure I get the name right, because I always forget the name of this gallery. But it is the Central Arts of Bedford Gallery, and you can reach that site, their site, at centralartsofbedford.com. And I have some work there, and you know, it's a small gallery, but it has some great people there, some great artists, has a couple of great people who run it, and if you're ever in Texas, feel free to go there, feel free to contact me, and maybe we can go there together, have a beer or two, but really art is about exchange and communication, so let's do that together, do that with the people around you, and figure out how you can express yourself. But thank you very much for watching, and I hope y'all have a great day.